of their lives. It's going to be a big part of their life. We're going to see it when we come back. In Acton, it's worth the drive.
Thank you, Jen. Well, if you are a wine lover, you are going to love this book. Natalie MacLean is here, and she's the author of Red, White, and Drunk All Over. That is a great title.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
So how did you go about writing a book on wine?
A lot of research, a lot of drinking.
A lot of drinking.
It came from my passion. I've been writing about wine in magazines and newspapers for a few years, and I just wanted to dig a little deeper, meet some of the zany people in the industry, learn a bit more about it, answer some of my own questions and questions I was getting from readers.
And you really personalized it, because when I was going through the book, you even wrote the fact that your parents were separated, and at the age of 3, your father was an alcoholic. So the irony of writing a book on wine.
I know my relatives find it quite amusing that I've chosen this particular topic to write about, but I think that's part of what wine is. There's, we look at the aromas and the hedonism, but it's alcohol.
And it comes from several regions. We've got old regions, new world. Can we go through some of them, some of the regions that produce wine?
Sure. You've got a big division that you just mentioned, Old World and New World. And that's what's exciting about wine, because there's just so much out there. It can also be a little bit intimidating, but I think if you start to learn some of the big regions and get a grasp on the style that you like, it really helps when you're in the wine store looking at 1,000 bottles. So Old World, you've got France, Italy, Germany, Spain, and all of these countries are innovating. And then you've got New World, Canada, California, Chile, Australia, all wildly popular these days.
And they're all making a push. Okay, so when you go to a restaurant or to the liquor store, where do you begin? How do you select a wine?
Yeah, it's really tough, because a lot of people, all they have to go on is the label. So, do you prefer a castle in the middle distance or the little, fluffy squirrel? But I think what you can start to do is, one of the things I advise is buy a mixed case of wines and find a favorite, so that, you start to develop what are your tastes. There are also a lot of knowledgeable people in the wine stores. And so feel free to ask them, what makes you passionate? Having steak tonight, what's a good peppery little red that would be in this price range?
What about in the restaurant?
Again, use help if it's there. The sommelier, or these days they're known as the wine dude or the wine gal. It's really come down a notch in terms of the snobbery and the intimidation. So again, if you're looking at the wine list, you can say, what are you really excited about? You might want to point, you're the only one with the list. You could point and your price range out, so you don't have to, declare how cheap you want to go, how much you're willing to pay for love. But you can ask the sommelier, do you have anything in this range, maybe from California or something like that? Help them narrow it down.
I have a question. When they come and if you choose a glass and then they give you a little sample, is it rude to say, you know what, I don't like it, can I try something else?
It's not at all.
Okay.
You're the consumer, and even if it's good wine, but you don't like the style, it's your right. They've put that right in the pricing, that you can turn it back, and they can sell it by the glass, that sort of thing. What I wouldn't advise is a steady stream of rejections to just prove how how your palate is so much better than their wine list. But a lot of people are intimidated by that, and I have a story about that in my book where I'm a wine writer, and it just happened to me a year ago where I turned back a bottle and I was so embarrassed. But those are the feelings that people face. But I think if you have the confidence to know it's your right to do that, do it.
Okay, and then what makes me laugh is the language. And you wrote the best line I've ever read. You were testing some wine, and you called the language ancient tribal language. And one person that you were with described the wine as very soft and very round, like sheep's eyes with square pupils. What was the person drinking?
Too much. I don't know what they were into, what kind of wine, but some of the wine descriptors are just over the top. I hear tight, muscular, rakish, and I'm thinking, are we talking about wine or Brad Pitt here? So
both are good topics.
Well, true.
So how do you decipher through that? Like the one that throws me off is oak.
Yes.
How do you taste oak in wine?
I think if you look on the back of the label of the bottle, and you can find some helpful descriptors. So if you like oak or don't like oak, what you're looking for there is it described as toasty, vanilla, smoky? That's oak.
Okay.
If you're looking for something zippy and refreshing and mouth-watering, look for citrus fruit. Oranges, lemons, limes. That's going to be a really bright wine, usually a white one, that'll go with salad. So if you keep a few descriptors in mind, some basic ones, you can sort of sort your way through those back labels.
Okay, and really quickly, we've got 30 seconds, just some of the crazy pairings. Canned brown beans with tawny port.
Yes.
That's a good recommendation.
You might find it strange, but think about the fundamentals. Beans, sweet, caramel, the same kind of flavors. They're in a nice tawny port. They actually marry nicely together.
Okay, that is too funny. Well, the book is called Red, White, and Drunk All Over. And if you want more information, you can go to nataliemaclean.com. It is in bookstores now. Thanks so much, Natalie.
All right.
We'll see you in a bit. We're going to take a short break here on Breakfast Television. It is 7:58.